Alrighty, day 27. We got 3 days left to go. So I wanted to kind of talk about, remember I said that I had kind of some musical stuff going on. Well, I saw Ray LaMontagne last night, and he played at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. I'll probably do another video either later today or maybe tomorrow about it. I got 3 songs that I did capture, which is really cool. Did Repo Man, which was off of his new album. He did a cover of Mama Tried by Merle Haggard, and then actually another cover where he did Blue Canadian Rockies off of Sweetheart of the Rodeo, which I thought was totally awesome, but I'll go into a little bit more. I don't want to kind of keep that out of the challenge, but I'll probably do another video just kind of talking about the concert and all that and showing off those videos. So here's day 26, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton, great album. Today we're going to talk about, this is an album that I've had for, oh my goodness, forever, as far as I remember. That is Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. This was released in 1968, around May of 68. It's actually recorded in January. A lot of really good information on this album, definitely worth kind of, I'll hit some high points here, but there's definitely a lot of information out on the web about this album. Of the 17 tracks that are on this, actually 15 of them are from the first show. He did 2 different shows. One was a morning show, like 9 o'clock. It was actually it was about 20 to 10, and then the other one was 20 to 1. I guess it wouldn't be in the afternoon, but recorded 2 different shows. Just a great album. This is one that I got this on CD, probably would have been around 99 or so, when they remastered it for the first time, just as the Columbia with bonus tracks one. And there used to be a record store called National Record Mart that I used to go to. And I don't know if I might have said this story about the Doors album, but every week or every 2 weeks, I don't know how often that they did their ads, but they would have records that would be, or CDs that would be $10. There was 10 for 10 basically, so that you could pick. There was 10 different titles that they had that would be $10 that week. And the first one I got was like the Doors' first album, and then I was like, I got I scraped $10 together and went out and I got this album. So this one, I mean, I had a Johnny Cash Greatest Hits cassette tape, and it had Ring of Fire on it, and Folsom Prison and things like that. Some different versions, some re-recorded kind of later versions. So it was kind of a strange compilation. But I went to a friend's house, and his dad had a pool table and sort of like a man cave of sorts, and he had quite a bit of records. I mean, I would say for those of you who have the the IKEA shelves, it was probably like four sets of those, 4 cubes of those, I guess you could say. I don't really know how many records there are, maybe 400 or so. And he had this record, and we put it on. I had never heard it before, but it was Johnny Cash, and I was like going through a Johnny Cash kick, and I was like, let's listen to this. So we put it on, and my friend kind of turns to me, and he's like, oh, it's on CD, it's not bleeped. And I was like, really? So kind of piqued my interest, and I went out and got it a couple days later. But this is a fantastic album. Really kind of kickstarted Johnny Cash's second, career. Gave him a little bit of a career boost, and I kind of separated. For me personally, I mean, there's probably like 4 periods of Johnny Cash that you could say. You could say, there's the, kind of the Sun era, and then there's also like the Columbia era, which I would kind of toss this into. Some of his albums that either followed, or the San Quentin is probably the next best after this one. Some of the Columbia albums are a little patchy as far as with the content. There are some good ones, but there's some of the ones on. He did a lot of concept albums on Columbia, like Ride This Train, Bitter Tears, which is the songs of the American Indians, or Native Americans. And then of course there's sort of the later Columbia period, like the 80s, the Baron, which was it's kind of a dark time for Johnny Cash, I think. And then of course like the 90s and to the 2000s, the American Recordings era, which it's kind of funny because when Walk the Line came out, I was so excited to see it, and when it just became a huge movie, and in a way I kind of like I kind of put Johnny Cash to the side at that point. I stopped listening to him because I listened to his American recordings, and there was a lot of interest in him, and it kind of put me off a little bit, because it was like when I first had that cassette tape, and I was talking about Johnny Cash, and I wanted to do Ring of Fire, like I was in a band, and I was like, let's play Ring of Fire, and nobody really kind of listened to me on what I had to say about that. So it's kind of like a bummer. And then everybody, like, all of a sudden was listening to Johnny Cash again. His albums were huge. It was like I think he was selling more albums now than he had sold. When he had passed away after the movie. I don't know which order it went in. Either he passed away first and then the movie came out, or the vice versa. I can't remember. But it's kind of like one of those things that I did buy albums while he was still alive, which there's a little bit of venom in that when I say that, but and it's just, everybody's different. Everybody discovers things at different times. But there was a lot of people that I had mentioned this album that I said, hey, you gotta listen to Johnny Cash, and everybody was just like, oh, he's country, I'm not gonna listen to that. And then next thing you know, they're oh, I bought the new Johnny Cash album. Oh, you did? Okay, that's great. So this is just a really fantastic album. It's just one that it does make the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I mean, and I say that in all seriousness. The cheering from the crowd and all that, just to hear, as they say, it's he had a captive audience, pun intended. So, but just really, really awesome album. I was spinning this morning, and it just kind of reminded me that I hadn't listened to it in a little while, and after last night's concert, I was had kind of on this little country bluegrass sort of kick. So glad for everybody watching today. Pick this album up if you don't have it. I'm sure you've seen it before. I'm sure you probably have it. I don't even know why I'm showing it. It's definitely an essential. Just a great album on Columbia. It was produced by Bob Johnston, who would go on and do Nashville Skyline with Dylan and things like that, I believe, the same year. So good stuff. So we'll see you tomorrow. So take care.